Thutmose is one of the newest archer commanders released into Rise of Kingdoms, and you have access to him at the start of the game. So today I'll be going over skills, talents, pairs, formations, everything you need to know about Thutmose. So stick around to get all this essential information. Alright guys, this is kind of like a part 2 to the series where I speak about every archer commander. I have an LCID guide if you want to go check that out, links in the description, but I do recommend watching this video first. Alright, Thutmose is an archer versatility support commander, and you actually unlock him the second you log into the game. So you're not guaranteed to get a Thutmose, but you are guaranteed to have access to Thutmose the second you download the game, no matter how old your account is. This is because Thutmose is available in the golden chest right here. Also, he can be purchased after like a week or two. You can purchase yourself a Thutmose in the daily special offer. He is just down here. You can purchase yourself a Thutmose here after that. This is a great way to get Thutmose sculptures, and I'll speak more about why I think Thutmose is pretty good early game. Another way to get Thutmose is through here we go, these commander re-release chests. Now, I don't think you need to get him from this because this costs you money, and also it's like 1 sculpture, 2 sculptures. It's not a full commander, so keep that in mind. Thutmose's skills are: first active skill, 1000 direct damage factor and 30% healing effect reduction. Then 15% increased attack, 10% march speed, and you deal 15% all damage outside of territory. Increased defense by 10% while on the map, and a 10% chance to inflict skill damage taken increased debuff on the opponent. Also, for 10% less counterattack when attacked, 10% chance to deal skill damage to the target, damage factor of up to 700, and can only trigger once every 8 seconds. After using a skill, active skill, troops deal 30% more normal attack damage for 3 seconds. This can also only trigger once every 8 seconds. Alright, Thutmose, his active skill is super underwhelming. With only 1000 damage factor, it's the same as LCID's damage factor, only being 1000. And that's just no cool. Every other archer commander in the game has more active skill damage factor. Even Cyrus has 400 extra, and he just has a ton of additional damage factor. So this active skill is super underwhelming. Other than that though, Thutmose's second skill, I really like this one. This all damage is really good, and the march speed's also very good. So this skill I really do like. The next skill, I like the skill damage taken increased debuff. It's the only commander besides like Minamoto who has a good debuff early game. So I do really like that. And of course the defense is just nice. Counterattack damage taken reduction is fine, and the damage factor to the target is just under LCID's. And then when you expertise him, I don't mind this 30% more normal attack. Overall with Thutmose, I think he's kind of like a well-rounded commander. He's not amazing, like I think I would rather invest in almost any Season of Conquest commander over Thutmose. And I don't recommend putting gold heads in Thutmose if you're in Season of Conquest. But if you're really early game, and you've got a Thutmose, and you're a whale, and you're thinking, I have to rally the Lost Temple, or I'm a rally leader and we're going to war, and I need a good rally. Thutmose is actually a very good rally commander in my opinion. Even though he doesn't have the conquering tree and no rally-oriented skills, I think that his skills are just good for rallying, especially this damage outside of territory by 15% is great. So if you're whaling and you're purchasing daily special offers and stuff, and you're like trying to get a first archer march, Thutmose is a great commander to have in that archer march. So what I recommend pre-Season of Conquest with Thutmose, I'm just gonna get the epics up. So what I recommend pre-Season of Conquest with Thutmose is possibly a Thutmose Kusunoki or a Thutmose Herman if you're going for 2 archer marches. That's if it's like really early. You haven't even got the Lost Temple yet. But once you get YSG, once you unlock YSG, Thutmose YSG is just really good. Especially like early KVK. If early KVK 1 or, I reckon that's actually viable up until KVK 3. Where it kind of starts to lose to like an Edward and a Tamiris. But even then, if you've got a max Thutmose in KVK 3, you're going to be shredding. You can also consider Thutmose LCID if you're going for like a Mehmed YSG in KVK 2 or 3. That's also an option. Now, another thing with Thutmose, his gear is relatively similar to every other commander. I think the one thing I would change with him is instead of going for a Horn of Fury, if you have a Thutmose, I would just go for the Concealed Dagger. So Concealed Dagger plus Ring of Doom, that's what I recommend for Thutmose. Just because that this health reduction is really good, and he doesn't need his active skill that much, since it's kind of rubbish anyways. If you have a YSG, you're also going to be generating the Rage, so you probably don't need this Horn of Fury either. Now, which skills do I recommend getting on your Thutmose if you can only get like a couple and you want to try get other skills? Alright, so the skills for Thutmose that I recommend, of course, you want to max his active skill. That's a really, really important skill to max. Even though it's fairly underwhelming, you always want to have the active skill for each commander maxed. Second skill, I actually think is his next best skill, so you do want to get that second skill maxed. And then if you're just trying to get as much value as you can from like a cheap Thutmose, you would probably want to go first skill maxed, second skill maxed, skip the third skill, and then go for the last skill, because I think that last skill is just that bit better than the third skill. So 5-5-1-5 Thutmose is probably a really good position to be in. That's when he's most usable. If you have a 5-5-5-1 Thutmose, then that's fine as well. But I think if you're going for a Thutmose, if you're going all out and you're wailing, you may as well just take him to max, because all 4 of his skills are field relevant. Now, for Season of Conquest pairs for Thutmose, I think you'll be looking at the museum first before you consider using him. You can see in here, Thutmose, he's got his own relic, which has Archer Health and Archer Attack, 15% of both at level 1, and at level 2, you get 25% attack and 20% health. This relic is, of course, not as good as the Mehmed's. It's way better than Elcid's, and I think it's better than YSG's. So I think this relic is pretty good if you're going to use Thutmose. I think it's worth getting that second level for that 10% attack and 5% extra health. So best Season of Conquest pairs with Thutmose. Just like I said in the Elcid video, you're really going to always want to get the most OP Archer commanders. So Boudica with Thutmose I think will work quite well. Thutmose has the all damage, Thutmose has got some extra march speed, defense, attack, all these like stats and all these like not amazing debuffs, but multiple of debuffs that are pretty good. Boudica also has another skill damage taken increase by 35% for the opponent. So that stacks with Thutmose's, making that 50% total. So keep that in mind. Also, Boudica doesn't have any instant damage, while Thutmose does, so that's another thing you can also keep in mind. Now, if you've already got a pair with your Boudica, like for some reason you're going to go Boudica YSG, well then I think that Thutmose and Henry could actually work quite well. Henry's got some all damage here, so he's got all damage here, and he's got some more damage on his active skill, and Henry's really tanky. The only thing is, I think Henry with YSG actually performs really, really well, and I think you don't really want to split up that combo. So I would say Thutmose and Boudica is your best bet. If you've already got Boudica, Artemisia, and Henry YSG, and you have a max Thutmose, you don't know who to put him with, I think Gilgamesh and Thutmose could actually work quite well as well. Gilgamesh, once again, has another active skill taken debuff on the opponent, which also will stack with Thutmose's debuff. And I think Gilgamesh is really, really tanky. Just if you look, he's got 30% health and he takes less damage here. It's just a ton of tanky stats. And again, doesn't have instant proc damage. So Thutmose is good in this situation. It does make his healing effect reduction kind of redundant though, because you don't really want to be reducing healing effect with Gilgamesh, but it doesn't matter because they'll still take the same damage factor. Alright, so Thutmose works quite well with a lot of late game Archer commanders, works quite well with a lot of early game Archer commanders. Another early game Archer commander, speaking of, is Elcid. So if you have an Elcid and you want to get the most value from him, check out my guide, which has just popped up on the end screen of this video. And I thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.